Math time, math time, math time. All right. Find a brand new page. It is Tuesday, 3-31, March 31st, and we're doing some math. Yes. So we're going to draw a couple things. Remember yesterday we talked about rays? So I got a ray from a line segment. Now, a ray has one endpoint and has one arrow. You don't need both points on this to make a ray. So I could do this to make a ray. So I don't need both points. Okay, I could do a ray with one endpoint. Okay, I mean yesterday I did a line segment. From the line segment, I made it into a ray, but you don't actually need two points to make a ray. So a little thing from yesterday. Okay, so today we're going to be using rays to make angles. So the way we make an angle is we hook together two rays by the vertex or that vertice. So here's what you do. So we're going to do this for me. So we're going to make a ray. So draw me a point and then point. And we're going to make a ray going this way. The arrow coming here. And then we're going to go straight up in the air for the other ray. Notice these two rays, they share this endpoint. So you guys should have like an L. It's basically an L. This is called a right angle. A right angle. So I'm going to write that down. Right angle. So you know it's a right angle because it makes a perfect corner, or it's an L. Sometimes you'll see an angle with like this, with like a little box right here. And if you guys see a box, you know it's a perfect corner, and that's a right angle. Okay, so I could also make a right angle going the other way. So let me show you an example. Let's draw this also. So if I draw my point going here, and my ray now going this way, right? Again, I come straight up in the air with my second ray. This is another right angle, meaning it should be a perfect, it's like a backwards L. It should be a backwards L now. This should be a perfect corner. Like if I drew a square in here, that's a perfect corner right there. That's a corner right there. So that's also a right angle. So today we're going to be talking about three different types of angles. Right angles, angles that are less than right angles, and angles that are greater than right angles. We're going to draw those three right now. So let's do this. All right. So here's the once again, right angle. Here's what a right angle looks like. We're gonna make it one more time. All right. So I would skip a couple lines. Draw me a ray. And then we're gonna go straight up in the air, right? So that's called a right angle. So basically, I don't want to get into degrees a lot today, but that's 0 degrees. And this angle opens up, and this is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is a right angle. So let me show you an angle that's less than a right angle. All right, so now I might kind of separate it. This one's going to be less. Less than a right angle. Everybody see it okay? Less than a right angle. So here's what this looks like. An angle less than a right angle. I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to draw a ray going across like I did before. But this time, I'm not going to go straight up in the air with my second ray. I'm going to come over like this. So it kind of looks like that, like Pac-Man sign a little bit. So this is less than a right angle. Here's what they mean by that. If this is 0 degrees, and this is like my pretend line, like my pretend right angle, a right angle hits 9 degrees. So if this opens up, it stops right here. That's less than a right angle because it didn't get to this boundary line yet. It didn't get to my L. So the L is the right angle. He didn't open up that much, right? So anything in here is less than a right angle. All right, we're going to do one more. You guys got space left? So there's our right angle. This is less than a right angle. This is going to be greater. Greater than a right angle. Okay, greater than a right angle. So here's what this looks like. We're going to start the same way. We're going to start with a ray going across this way. Now remember, a right angle, I'm going to make a dotted line to show you. A right angle goes straight up in the air, right? So anything in here is less than a right angle, less than a right angle, less than a right angle. Right angle makes a perfect L straight up. Greater than a right angle is anything out here. Anything out here. So if I come up this way like this, that's greater than a right angle. In other words, this is going to be, if this is 0 degrees and this is 90 degrees, this angle starts here. We're in a less than a right angle. Here's right angle. It passes the right angle and it's greater. Look at that. He opens up bigger. So you guys see the difference between the three? That's a right angle. That's less than a right angle. That's greater than a right angle. So I could also make them the other way. So here's a right angle going the other way. So you have all the examples. So there's my ray, right? Comes straight up in the air. That's my right angle. Sometimes you'll see a square right here. All right, less than a right angle going the other way. Make my ray. And here's my imaginary boundary line for my right angle. He's going to be like somewhere in here. Boom. Right? So that's less than a right angle. So right angle, less than a right angle. Now if I wanted to draw one more over here for greater than a right angle, my ray, my boundary line for my right angle, it's going to open up like somewhere out here, right? Big guy angle. Okay, so keep these three things in mind. So, for example, they're going to show you like shapes today. So, if they show you a square, all right. So, let's draw a square for line segments. So, line segment, right? Line segment coming down, line segment going over, line segment connect. Notice a square has 4 right angles because a square has 4 perfect corners, right? 4 L's. Backwards L, upside down L, but 4 perfect corners. So a square has 4 right angles. All right, let's draw a figure that has angles less than a right angle. So here's how you do that. Draw a small line segment and connect. Down below, we're going to draw a line segment that's longer. So the points are further apart. Connect those. Come up here, you connect these guys, right? Come over here, connect these guys. Now, if you look right here, this angle right here, do you see how this angle right here kind of looks like this guy? So this angle right here is less than a right angle. Same thing with this one. This angle right here looks kind of like him. Less than a right angle, that angle. This guy here. These two it's greater than a right angle. These are your big guy angles up here. So if you want to turn your book around, or actually we could draw the reverse way over here. If you draw a small line segment down here, and up here we draw a line segment that's big guy. So now it's kind of like upside down, right? And you connect these guys. Now if you see here, that angle, right? That's a big guy angle. That's greater than a right angle. Kind of looks like him, see? Right here. This one right here kind of looks like this guy here. Greater than a right angle. So, I'm going to go to the math book. Let's see if I missed anything. So, an angle is formed by 2 rays that share an endpoint. Plane shapes have angles formed by 2 line segments that share an endpoint. The shared endpoint is called a vertex. The plural of vertex is vertices. So right here is what I showed you. Here are 2 rays being hooked together at the vertex to make an angle. Down here, so let's describe the angles. This mark means right angle. We talked about that, right? These 2 perfect squares. Right angle, right angle. Some angles are less than a right angle. That's less than a right angle. And over here, this guy up here, some angles are greater than a right angle. Big guy angle. Okay, so here's a triangle. How many angles are in the triangle at the right? Well, let's check it out. Angles, right? So 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles. 3 angles right there. So in your math notebook, I'm out of room, so I'm going to turn the page. I'm going to write number 1. 3 angles. Angles. Now be careful. Don't mix up the L and E, because you know what happens? If you mix up the L and E, you know what it spells? It spells angels. Angels. And you don't want angels, right? You want angles right now. Okay. Let's move on to number 2. Let's see what 2 says in the book. Use the corner of a piece of paper to tell whether the angle is a right angle, less than a right angle, or greater than a right angle. We don't need a piece of paper to tell that. We could look at this. We could kind of eye it up a little bit. All right, so look at that angle right there. Is that a right angle? Does that make a perfect L? No. Is that smaller than a right angle? Is that like a Pac-Man sign eating a fraction? No, that's a big guy angle. That opens up wider. So for example, if I wanted to make this a right angle, this will come straight up, see? So it starts here, it opens up wider, bigger, greater. So that is definitely greater than a right angle. So for number 2, we're going to write greater. Greater than a right angle. Greater than a right angle. Everybody got that for number 2? Greater than a right angle. All right, let's move on to 3. So number 3, they're going to give me this figure, and they want to know about that top right corner. Is that a right angle? Is that a perfect L? Is that smaller than a right angle? What if we do this? What if I flip the book upside down? Does that help you say it better? It does, doesn't it? Because look, it's not a right angle. Because I know a right angle goes straight up in the air. You see that? Hey, that's a good shot right there, right? So this is definitely smaller than a right angle. Because it starts here, it opens up. But does not get to that perfect L. Does not get to that perfect L formation. So that is smaller than a right angle right there. So to save you guys some time, we'll just write smaller. Right? I'll know what you mean. Smaller. Okay. Now we're going to move on to 4. Everybody ready for 4? Let's check it out. Where's 4? Maybe I should turn the book back the right way. Okay. So 4, here's the picture for 4. They want to know about that corner. Is that corner a right angle? Less than a right angle? What's going on with that corner? Well, they kind of give it away because they put a square right here. What did I tell you guys about the square? The square tells you it is a right angle. It's a perfect L, perfect corner. So number 4 is a right angle. So number 4, we're just going to write the word right. Right. Okay. Here we go. It says, write how many of each type of angle the shape has. Okay. Let's start with right angles. Well, again, the blue squares give it away for right angles. These blue squares mean that these are perfect L corners, perfect corners, the shape of an L, right? So you have 1, 2, 3 right angles. So let's see what's the best way to do this for your notebook. How about this, you guys? What number is this? 3, 4, 5? It's 5. Okay. How do this? Write 3R. That'll stand for right, okay? So I know what you mean there. So 3 right angles. How many less than a right angle? Well, we gotta look real close. Oh, sorry. Let me circle this guy. So we have an angle here. We have an angle here. Okay, so are they like Pac-Man, or are they big guy angles? Again, I could turn the book for you. That's definitely a greater than right angle. You know why I know that? Because if I turn the book, a right angle will go straight up in the air. See? And this passes that. So that's greater than a right angle. It's the same thing with this guy here. I'm getting dizzy, you guys. Going upside down. Big guy angle, right? A right angle will go straight up in the air. And this kind of opens up all the way over here. So those, less than a right, no. So here we add 3R, and then we'll go 2, right? 2G, 2 for greater. So this one will be 2G. Let's go 2 greater, that's good. All right, number 6. Do we see any right angles? You see any perfect L's for perfect corners? No, I don't. So you're going to go in your book 0R. Okay. Less than a right angle. Like these bottom two here. Check it out. They're kind of like the Pac-Man symbols a little bit. So I got these two bottom ones are less than a right angle. So in your book, you're going to write 0 are right angles. 2 are less. So we'll go 2L. And then how many big guy angles? These two at the top, they opened up more. They're greater. So 2G. 2G, you guys. 2G. All right. Number 7. How many right angles? Oh, well, it's good. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Right angles make perfect L's, perfect corners. So you have 4 right, and there's nobody left over. See that? So in your book, number 7, we're going to go 4R. 7, 4R for 4 right angles. All right, number 8. So they're going to show us one angle in blue. We got to figure out what is it? A right angle, less than a right, or greater than a right? What do you guys see there? If I turn the book, could maybe help you see it better. Is that a perfect L? Is that a perfect L? Nah, it kind of dips in a little bit, right? So that is less. So number 8, we're going to write less. It's less than a right angle. All right, we'll go 9. Where's 9? Here's 9. 9, what about that blue right there? What kind of angle is that? Is that a right angle? Less than or greater than a right angle? That's a right angle. The square tells us that makes a perfect L, a perfect corner. So number 9, that's a right angle, you guys. All right, here we go. Number 10. Number 10. Ooh, look at 10. What is that, you guys? If I turn the book, you guys can see that better. Right angle, less than a right or greater than a right. Keep in mind that that's a ray. A right angle will go straight up in the air. You see that? Make an L. And you guys can definitely see that this passes a right angle. See? So that's greater than a right angle. It comes way out here. So that's going to be greater. All right. 10, we're going to go greater. Greater, greater. All right, we're going to do 3 more, and that's it. 11. So we want to know about the angles of this triangle. So how many right angles does this triangle have for number 11? Well, we got 1 right here, because that blue square is going to tell me. There's 1R. So in your notebook, write 1R less than a right angle. This corner here, an angle. And this corner here, they're both less than a right angle. They're kind of like the Pac-Man symbol, right? Pac-Man symbols. So 2L, that's going to be 2L. And there's nobody left, right? So that's 2. And that's going to be 0 because there's nobody left. All right, let's go to 12. How many right angles do you see? This is an easy one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All squares and rectangles are made up of right angles. Nothing else. Everything else is zeros. So for 12 in your book, just write 4R. All right, 13. How many right angles? It's got these two. So in your book, you're going to write 2R. Okay, less than a right angle. Well, I got 2 angles left. This guy here, that's less than a right angle. Because remember, a right angle goes straight across and straight up and down. That's your right angle. And you see this guy, he stops right there, right? He does not get to this line. So that's less than a right angle. So it's going to be 1. So it's going to be 1L. And then this guy, this big guy, that's greater than a right angle. Big guy. So 1G. 1G. Let's see what this question says. Describe the types of angles formed when you divide a circle into 4 equal parts. Well, that one's pretty fun. Let's do that one. This will be our last one in our notebook before we close it up for right now. So here's what you got to do. This is 14. Draw a circle. And if you cut the circle in half, and you cut the circle in half again, check it out. Do you know what you made? What kind of angles are these? That's a right angle. That's a right angle. Here's another right angle and another right angle. So if you take a circle and cut it into 4 pieces, you got 4 right angles all hanging out in the middle right there. All right, guys, that's a lot to take in, I know. I'm going to ask you one question about this page. Other than that, good luck.